Hi there, I'm James Zappachi, and this is Coffee, this one, and a case note. Team, today we're going to have an adventure to the New South Wales Court of Appeal, just over there, and a dispute between a cleaner and a client. And in short, the cleaner and the client entered into an agreement between themselves whereby the cleaner was going to clean a number of large retail stores, and the client would take responsibility for those relationships in a broader way. Now, one of the important terms of the agreement between the cleaner and the client was that the cleaning work would be performed by the cleaner itself, or if the cleaner wished to subcontract the work, then the cleaner would have to get the approval of the client before doing so. Right? That's going to be important. Hold on to that. Okay. What happens is the work gets done. Let's say there's 100% of the work done, and the cleaner seeks payment. Now, what's actually happened is that the cleaner itself has done about 10% of the work, and about 90% of the work has been done by subcontractors who were not previously approved by the client. And so what the client says is, hey, this agreement entitles me, the client, to terminate because you used subcontractors I didn't approve of, and because of this other clause, I don't even have to pay you for that subcontractor work, that 90% slice. I only have to pay you for that 10% slice that you did because it was so fundamental that you do the work. You, if that makes sense. What the cleaner says is, hey, this was a contract to produce a result. The result was clean shops. I delivered clean shops, and so I'm entitled to payment for 100% of that, regardless of the subcontractor relationships I relied upon in delivering that result. Now, the real short point is that in the district court, at first instance, the court found, in short, that the client was right, which is to say that the client was entitled to terminate the contract, and that the client only had to pay for that 10% slice that the cleaner itself and not the cleaner's unauthorised subcontractors did. Now, that decision was reached because of the real fiddly terms of the agreement. So what the cleaner then does is appeal. So that's why we're having an adventure down to the Court of Appeal. And what the Court of Appeal says is, in short, it agrees with what was found at first instance. It says, notwithstanding the fact that there's 100% of work done, and notwithstanding the cleaner's argument that the client essentially would get a windfall, having to pay only 10% in respect of 100% worth of work, the appropriate outcome is the outcome that was negotiated between the parties. Look at the agreement. And the court finds that it was not a contract to merely produce a result, but the actual identity of the producing party was important. And in forming this view, the court works through a lot of the fiddly bits of the agreement. It also considers the commercial circumstances of the agreement, where some of the retailers have very specific requirements for people who come into their stores. It considers things like workers' compensation and real fiddly obligations that are protected by the agreement. And so, after working through all of those elements, the court found that it was fundamental to the agreement that the identity of the person performing the work was as important, I won't say as important, but it was fundamental to the performance of the work. And so the client was entitled to pay only 10% and also entitled to retain the benefit of the 100% cleaning task done. Now, on one view, arguably there's a harshness or a strictness to that outcome, but perhaps the broader point to take from it is that it's an outcome that is, with respect, found by the court to be in accordance with the agreement negotiated and reached between the parties. The agreement as negotiated stood, and that was the outcome. I hope that quick little adventure assisted you, and I look forward to joining you again soon for another coffee and another case note. Cheers.